The wedding band. Linda and I, years ago, got married in this spot in the backyard. It's got a lot of work going on back here, so it clearly was a lot better looking yard back then. It was a little botanical garden of sorts. Now I'm doing a lot of changing and destroying a deck and rebuilding it and that sort of thing. So at the time that we exchanged our vows, right here in front of a very small group of people, we exchanged rings, and these were rings that we had just found and purchased. They weren't real expensive, but they were our rings. Ultimately, as our life continued on, Linda had a ring that had 3 diamonds in it, a gold ring, very nice ring, and it had been in her family. And she approached me one day and said, "Would you wear this as a wedding ring, or would it bother you that somebody else had worn it?" I said, "No, it wouldn't bother me." And so she had it sized, and I began to wear it. Now, throughout our early years of marriage, there had been more than once that I'd lost a ring and just slip out my finger. My hands would be one size in one part of the day and smaller size, and I'd be getting in and out of cars and so forth. And so I had lost a ring before. She'd replaced it. And this ring is very attractive and not an inexpensive ring. It's a very nice ring. And so I certainly didn't want to lose it. Linda, also, I want to add that she was in a power chair. She had a disease called Charcot-Marie Tooth, and she was very insecure. She was insecure about her body. She was insecure about love and affection and all the above. So it was easy for her to be insecure. It was easy for her to be a little bit paranoid and so forth. This container right here used to had a little frog that shot water out in it, and it had rocks. Those rocks are now in that plastic bag there, and that set closer over here at that time. And just like today, leaves would come off the trees, and that would be filled with leaves, and I'd come out and clean those leaves out to keep the water flowing, and clean the rocks out and whatnot. So one day, as I was slinging the leaves out, I would just dip my hand in there and throw the leaves. The ring slipped off my finger. And I looked. I was throwing the leaves in this direction, and I looked and I looked. I had metal detectors. In fact, I think at that point I'd actually gone out and got a metal detector. I went and got a big magnet, and I just covered this area that had to go in this area here. I even looked inside the little container there that had water and rocks, and I dug around in there, and I looked around here, and I was just desperate to find a ring. It's a nice ring. It wasn't a cheap ring, and it wasn't just a basic band. Couldn't find it. I knew in my heart of hearts that because of Linda's insecurity, that she was probably thinking that, wow, that I didn't want to wear a wedding band. I just had that feeling. Didn't know that. She never said those words, but I just had that feeling that she didn't really, she wasn't really certain that I just lost the ring. Time passed, her condition worsened, and in March of this year, she passed away. Well, that ring still being on my mind, this was all covered with plants. I came in and chopped and dug, and I looked all through here thinking I'd find that ring. I knew I lost that ring here. And over the months and even over the years, I'd run the lawnmower through here because weeds would grow, and I would use the blower and clean this area up. And there's even a little place, burned, fire pit. So this was, for me, a trafficked area. And there was nobody else ever came back here. We didn't socialize as far as people coming back here and whatnot. And as time progressed and her disease worsened and my responsibilities increased, I neglected this area a lot over time. I just couldn't tend to everything, and I didn't have any help. But I would still keep this from just growing wild back here. This was not an area that I was in this area a lot. So now, this day, 8 months later, I'm tending to the needs of a couple of other people. One of them, a friend, his wife are friends of mine, been friends for years, and she's in the hospital. Then my best friend, her mother is in the hospital, got a horrible diagnosis yesterday of pancreatic cancer, and I've been at the hospital with them into the wee hours of the morning last night. And I was going to come out and do a video update as to what was going on. And I don't mention names when I talk about these people. They're just friends. So I walked out, as I often do to do recordings out here in the backyard. And I saw right in the center path a gold circle. And it struck me. It's like, I did a second take. I mean, once in a while you'll see something, but that was, anyway, I reached down and picked it up. And the ring was there that I'd looked for so diligently, so hard. I found it right here, just right on the surface. It wasn't like it was buried. Well, maybe it was right here, right in the center, where I've cleaned and used the lawnmower and blown leaves and all the above. There it was, right there. Now, to add to that, last night, after I'd come home 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning from the hospital and tried to get a little rest, my friend messaged me early this morning, "How are you?" And I was just waking up. I said, "I've just had nightmares." Linda, she said, "What about?" And I said, "Linda just visiting me all night long." And when somebody's deceased and you go through something like that, it's not always a comfortable feeling. And it became kind of a restless night. And so that happened. And then after all these years, right here on the surface, not buried, not along the edge, right in the center, as I'm just taking a stroll, which I've done. I've been out here the last several times, not daily, but constantly. And there it was. And I got to tell you, that brought about a peaceful feeling to me. It's hard to describe. Just all of a sudden, I feel very relaxed and very peaceful today, even in the midst of some trauma going on in my relationships. So the question is, did Linda bring this ring back to me? Now there's something else that's happened in the last little while, and I still have this, but right in this area right here, shortly after we got married, Linda had bought a hammock and had it setting here. There was more. This tree subsequently died and whatnot, and she has a sign that she had put here. And let me show you that sign. And it stood there for years. It stood there. The sign's laying over here. I've got to put it on a new post. She had bought this sign and she had it over there. And I got to put it on a new post because it got bent. Kelsey's Corner, keep out. And it was over there after her death. Never before had anything ever happened to this sign. I came out one day and it's laying flat on the ground over here. So I picked it up, I straightened it out, and I put it back up. It never would again stay there. It never would. I would straighten it up, I'd resecure it, and within a short period of time, days, whatever, it'd be laying back on the ground right there. So finally I gave up and I said, I'm going to reattach this somewhere else, and just laid it aside. And this was the first thing, and then the dreams, the visitations, and now after all this time, the wedding band, the ring. So Linda, thank you. And I take that as a very strong communication that indeed there is something beyond this life, and that you can be provided comfort in so many different ways. And I cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate the
story
comfort
of the
that this
ring
day
that
has brought to
started this
me.
video. Subsequent to finding it, I took a snapshot as I was standing there in the backyard. Then I came to the house because my head was really spinning after this. Like, wow, look at that ring. So I came to the house, and I sat down in the recliner in the living room and looking at the ring thinking, wow, this is wow. And as normal, we walk around with our cell phones, right? That few minutes after I found the ring, my cell phone sent me a notification, a Facebook notification. That ring was returned to me, and I didn't think about it. I did not have a clue until that notification came on my cell phone that this happened on Linda's birthday of December the 6th. And it's happened in 2022, the same year she passed away.
Sitting here on a Friday evening, and I am going to spend some time trying to connect with spirit. So if there is anyone, any spirit in this realm that can communicate with me, that's willing to communicate with me, you can please use the device I've got here to manipulate and to communicate with. This particular app is unique, and that's why I'm using it, because it does not have pre-programmed words in it. This app is 100% just the phonetic alphabet. So if spirit wants to communicate, the spirit has to manipulate the alphabet to put together a word. I've got a screenshot where it actually put together my name, Kelsey. Wasn't spelled exactly right. Phonetically, though, it was 100% correct. So if you're interested, anyway, I'm here alone in my house. I don't necessarily wait till dark, midnight, anything like that, because I don't think spirit at any level recognizes day and night. They're in a different realm. So I don't think those things are necessary to proceed that way. So I'm just going to kind of sit silently for a little while. It's been very quiet. There's been no communication. Put my glasses on so I can see here. So, spirit, if there's anyone here, if there is any presence, energy, spirit, whatever your preference is to be called, I'm opening up the door to be communicated with. Even my front door is open. So I'm going to I'm gonna try something here. Because basically, I'm gonna go out to the little memorial garden, meditation garden that I created. I might be able to get there from here, so yeah, this way. I'm gonna experiment and see what transpires here. Overcast all day, but it has rain yet. That is my ring doorbell now. Had a little bit of rain here. I noticed that. I think we're winding down probably toward the end of the season. Although maybe not have to cut much down. It's more than it was. So this is the place I created. I gotta do something like these pictures. These have grown substantially, but they're not doing it. I'm sitting next to the waypoint here. So we're going to sit here and we're going to see if anything comes to communicate with us. That would be good. Linda, if you're capable and you're out here, I appreciate you having returned that ring, and I've been wearing it consistently. It was, I think, as you realize now, it was genuinely lost and reappeared right in the vicinity after all that time of looking for it. This is very quiet. Nothing.
Patrick.
Gosh, I didn't. Patrick. That was her son's name that came and visited her the day before she died. You got to see Patrick.
Yes.
Oh yes, seance. That's kind of just similar to what you just say we're doing here. Patrick and seance. Thank you. Did you enjoy your visit with Patrick? Did you enjoy your visit with Patrick? That's amazing. That is amazing. The first word was Patrick, which was her son from the Nashville area that she had not seen much of in years. It's amazing. What do you think of what I've done out here? I know a lot of people, I guess the neighborhood, was surprised that I'm still here. Are you surprised that I've stayed here? And I'm entertaining selling and moving, but I'm going to do a lot of improvements here in the next few months. How do you feel about that?
dream.
Ah, yes, dream. These are very, very interesting words because she was follow the clue. What clue? Dream. Because her website was Dreamer in Mood. This is really amazing. Patrick was her son. Seance. That's kind of what we're doing here. Dream and follow the clue. Wow. I mean, really. I don't know. Follow the clue. And that was in response to me talking about doing some improvements and selling the house. Can you give me any further details of what I need to be doing? Maybe this is a perfect spot. Very quiet. There is a walking trail here, but it's seldom used right now. And wow, I'm just really surprised. After the other night, this same app came up with my name, which my name was not connected to the app being used. And then this right here, Patrick, was one of Linda's two sons. Dream, she was a dreamer. Seance, I can understand because I'm using, this is kind of a seance. And amazingly, this is, I don't know, follow the clue. I'm lost with follow the clue. I hope I can get some more information. I don't know what clue. Kathleen. Is that part of the clue? Kathleen, is that part of the clue? I don't know Kathleen. Well, now, Kathy, and I don't know if Kathleen, she went by Kathy, was Linda's sister. Lived down south of Jacksonville, Florida. Kathleen. I don't know if Catherine. Kathy. Of course, my best friend's name is Catherine. I don't know if that... Can you give me another clue? Is there another clue that you're going to give me?
Good day.
Goodbye. Are you leaving me now? Are you leaving me?
Access.
Access. What are you? A clue and access. Access to what? Have I got access to you? Give me some more clue. Goodbye. Kathleen, follow the clue. So is the clue Kathleen, goodbye and access? Been eat up by some kind of bugs out here. Can you give me any other clues? Can you help me understand any of this, please? Upmost.
Press play.
Press play. Did you leave a video or something? Press play. You have any other
Succubus.
succubus? Oh gosh. Is that part of the clue, succubus? I know what a succubus is. Incubus, succubus, oh. You know what a succubus is? I know what a succubus is. This These are interesting words. What does it mean? Can you give me any more detail? There's my books there. I got a stack of them.
Tumultuous.
Tumultuous. I'm certainly going to have to go back and think about these, aren't I?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. It's tumultuous at 1 o'clock? Wow. I don't know. That's
60.
60? Well, I'm 68. I'm 68.
Don't stay here.
Oh, okay, so I'm going to take it that I shouldn't be staying here. So I need to sell the house and move. Need to sell the house and move.
Correct.
Hey, look at that. Correct. Wow, this is powerful. This is really powerful. Okay. I think that's a pretty good clue. I mean, that's to say outright, because I'd asked her opinion, and she says, "Don't stay here." Well, I really appreciate you coming through for me. I hope that I'm doing the right thing. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave now.